What's up, ladies and gents? Welcome back to another video. I know it's been quite some time since I've actually made an actual video, sort of standing here and just talking to you guys about games and things like that, but we're finally back today, and what I want to talk about today is a really cool Nintendo Switch accessory, most notably for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, which comes out on December 7th of this year, so just a few short weeks away, and I'm very excited about it. And so since that game is coming out, I had to pick up this really cool accessory. You can see it right here. This is the Power A, what's the official name of it? I had it and I forgot. The Power A wireless controller Nintendo Gamecube-style. So this is essentially a Pro controller. It's got all of the same buttons, all the same functionality, besides the rumble and NFC support, different things like that. But it's basically a Nintendo Switch Pro controller in a GameCube-style form factor, and it's very cool. So of course there is the wireless edition, which is what I have. I have the purple one. There's also black and silver, and you can also get a gold one from I believe is exclusive to GameStop. I don't know if those are still available at the moment. I know these are kind of hard to find right now, but I'm sure if you guys can do some digging around, you might be able to find them. But it's very cool. There's also a wired one as well that just kind of plugs directly into the Switch dock, which is very nice. I decided to pick up the wireless one because I kind of feel like I'm going to be playing this quite a bit in tabletop mode, and of course if you have tabletop mode you can't really plug in a wired controller into the Switch without the USB port in the dock. So that's why I went wireless, but you can also pick up, there's a bunch of different GameCube variations out there. Nintendo's actually released some of the official ones. They kind of brought those back. You can get those now as well. It's got sort of the Smash logo on the center there. And you can also, and even if you just have like a regular GameCube controller, you can use those as well. But you will need an adapter to use them with the Switch. You have to plug it into the dock, and then you can plug in the actual controller. But with this one, like I said, it's wireless. So what's very cool about this one is it does take batteries. I guess it's not really all that cool, but it does take batteries. But it does seem like the battery life on these is fairly good. So that's awesome to hear, because a lot of times whenever you have a controller that takes batteries, seems like a lot of times they don't really last all that long, unfortunately. With this, it seems like it's going to be pretty good. So as I said, it's got all of the same functionalities, the same buttons that any kind of Pro controller has, and I'll go ahead and actually show you guys the controller itself. So here it is here. It's already been unboxed. It's already got batteries in it. It actually comes with batteries, which is very nice, so that's good. So I've been playing around with it quite a bit. Of course, I haven't really been playing Smash because it's not out yet, but I have been sort of testing it with some other Switch games, and like I said, this is essentially a Pro controller, so you can really use any game that supports Pro controller support. You will be able to use this controller with that game, which is very cool. I was actually playing Splatoon 2 with this, just to kind of test it out and see what it's like, and it does have motion controls, it does have sort of gyro aiming, different things like that. So here is the front here. As you can tell, Nintendo Switch. It's kind of weird seeing a Switch logo on a GameCube style controller, but it's got the A, B, X, Y, and that same classic GameCube style loadout. The center, it's got the plus and minus buttons, as well as the home and capture button as well. It's got a D-pad, which is actually fairly bit bigger than the original GameCube, and I've got an example of that, and I'll show that here in a second. But it's definitely bigger than the other one. Of course, the C-stick here, the classic gray control stick. And then if you look at the top, there's a sync button, so you can sync this with your system. That's how you pair it, which is very easy to do. It comes with instructions and exactly how to do it, but it's very cool. And then you'll notice that we have two of the, essentially what were the Z button on the GameCube. We've got two of those now, which are the L and R buttons, and then the classic gray shoulder buttons that I absolutely love. It's just the greatest sound. I don't know, it's just satisfying. So now those are the Z, L, and ZR buttons as well. And then on the back is this little door for the batteries, so you pop that open, put your batteries in, all that good stuff. And as you can tell, as I was sort of pushing those buttons, you saw the LED light indicators on this controller as well. So it's, again, essentially a Pro controller. It's got all that same functionality besides rumble and NFC support. So if you don't really care about that, I definitely recommend this. It's very cool. And one other cool thing too is the clicks actually stick, or the clicks, oh my god, the sticks click in, which is very nice. So you can hear that there, and then the C-stick does as well. So it's a very cool controller. It feels very much like a classic GameCube controller. It's kind of got the same weight to it as well. It's just very nice. It just works extremely well. It's very simple to hook up to the Switch, very easy to use, and it feels very much like a classic GameCube controller. So as I said, I do have an example of just an original GameCube controller. This is the one that I had way back in the day when I first had my GameCube. Same color. I went with purple. I like the purple GameCube controllers for some reason. It just looks really cool, and so that's what I went with. So this is the original. It's very dusty and kind of dirty, actually, unfortunately, but it honestly feels and looks quite similar. This newer one does have a little bit shinier purple color. That's probably because of just years and years of wear and tear on this one, but you can tell that they look fairly similar. I will say that there is one slight difference with some of the buttons. It does seem like the travel distance on this one is a little bit longer, but honestly, as I was playing, I didn't really feel that, or I guess keep that in mind. It was just something that I kind of knew about going in, and you can kind of tell when you take it out of the box and you kind of just start playing with it and seeing how it works. It is something to notice, but as I was playing, I didn't even think about it. So I don't think that's such a big deal when it comes to this option for Smash and things like that, but it still works very well. So again, here's a side-by-side comparison of the two. This is the original, this is the new one, obviously, and you can kind of tell what I said about the D-pad. So this one was very small. It seems like not a lot of people really liked the GameCube D-pad, but this one definitely a bit bigger. And for Smash, you don't really use the D-pad all that much, but if you want to use this as a traditional Pro Controller and play like fighting games, or like some 2D platformers, different things like that, I don't think you're gonna have any problems with this D-pad. I thought it worked fairly well for me, and I really enjoyed it. And again, just sort of the top there, again, we've got the two shoulder buttons here, whereas this one only has one, and then of course the gray triggers as well. So one other thing that I thought was kind of interesting was that the C-stick on this one is a little bit shinier, I guess, has more of a glossy finish as opposed to the original. I don't really know how well I can show that to you guys, but you might be able to see it. And definitely they did the same thing with the shoulder buttons as well. This one you can kind of see that the shoulder buttons, the gray ones, are a little bit more glossy as opposed to these and different things like that. So one other thing that I kind of just remembered is that, of course, the original GameCube controller had, you know, analog triggers and things like that. So people were asking, I think I saw online, people were asking if these have that same sort of thing, and they don't. They're just the standard digital triggers like on the actual Pro Controller. So as I said, this is essentially a Switch Pro Controller without Rumble and without NFC support, but just in a GameCube-style form factor. And I gotta say, I love it. I think it's awesome. I cannot wait to use this in Smash. It's gonna be great. I can't remember if I mentioned this as well, but it does seem like the weight is fairly similar. I do think that the original GameCube controller has a little bit more of a heft to it, but honestly, they are kind of similar when it comes to weight and form factor and things like that. So, sorry for the cut there, my phone ran out of storage, like usual. Hoping to possibly fix that soon. I want to still try to get a really decent camera, so hopefully that will happen in the near future. But anyway, like I was saying, if you guys want a traditional Smash Pro Controller, you definitely cannot go wrong with the ones from Power A, the wireless one or the wired one. They're both great examples of what a modern day GameCube controller can look like with some Pro Controller functionalities and things like that. So I definitely recommend it. Very cool controller. Cannot wait to use it in Smash. Cannot wait to play Smash. It's going to be so much fun. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And again, I always say this, but hopefully we can start to pump out some more videos on a somewhat regular basis. I don't like to just, you know, not have a video within several months. So hopefully we'll kind of stay away from that going forward. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving, and I hope everything is going well with you guys. Thank you so much for sticking with the channel, and I really appreciate it. So thank you guys again, and I will see you all in the next video. Take care.